still a problem in the country because the FAA still have not grounded the model of airplane involved in 2 deadly crashes in the past 6 months, the Boeing 737 MAX 8. So if you're going on that plane, take note. Don't get on it. Even though American pilots, this is the new news, are warning them that there are technical problems the company needs to investigate. I was reading that some pilot wrote a letter to the FAA saying
several
before the first crash.
Yes.
Well, I only read one letter. 6 of them, I think, are complaining. I mean, come on.
And very quickly, what I read was that there were these safety upgrades to the jet software to fix this automated safety feature, but they were delayed until April, in large part because of the 35-day government shutdown.
Yeah, how do you like that?
Well,
you think that something like that is benign when it's happening? You know, people, people are out of work. It's not killing the country. And then you find out there is a connection.
Just before we got on the show, I called American Airlines because a lot of these planes are flying to Miami, Southwest, United, American, and I asked if they had a policy if people felt uncomfortable and wanted to change. And the airlines are not offering any special policy. They are not allowing people to change without change fees or cancel.
$200 change fee.
And you know, because of the flight attendants, because of the passengers, because of the pilots, because people have anxiety and are nervous, I think there needs to be a special policy for folks.
You know, I always say the most important job if you're a politician is to protect the people that you serve. And this is one of those instances. I know some have spoken out, but even for the president to play a larger role, because if we want these planes grounded, you need to get involved with the people that run Boeing and say this is more important than your reputation. This is more important than anything else. This is about protecting the people that we serve.
But
another
it's okay
pilot
to be paranoid too right now. I mean, I think my friend Josh sums it up in his tweet. Bitch, I'm no aviation expert, but I don't think we should be flying on those planes that keep crashing. We have that tweet someplace. It's okay to be paranoid about planes that are crashing.
That's right.
Totally
especially,
I'm telling people, do not get on them.
Especially
everybody needs to walk off the plane. The pilots and the flight attendants walk off the plane.
And American Airlines, come on, $200 change fee. Can you waive that? Can you waive the change fees if people don't want to get on that airplane?
Which they do for a snowstorm. They do for a hurricane.
But why should we not be concerned when you have pilots? One of them anonymously said that he was flying without being adequately trained for these new systems. I think we are pretty rational to say, I don't think I want to get on that plane. That's pretty normal response.
And the Boeing CEO, Dennis Muhlenberg, spoke to Trump today, or yesterday, and spoke with him, and they said it's fine. And so he's okay with it.
But it's okay
it's like
to be
Putin says he didn't do it. That's one didn't do it. No one did anything. Okay, it's fine.
It's okay to be fearful.
Well, I like to see him go on. Why doesn't one of them let them go on their own planes?
On the MAX 8.
All right. I don't have time to make this transition to something fun, so we'll be right back. State of late night comedy and other things that are going on in the world is my old friend, the legendary Jay Leno.
The only man that can bring joy and Megan together.
100% true.
True, that's right.
100% true.
It's true. I actually have friends on both sides of the aisle.
I know.
Say it ain't so.
I hear that you'd rather you don't like the idea that the late night comics are so one-sided. Is that true?
No, it's not. I don't like the idea. It's just the fact that all the jokes are. It's kind of the same joke. I mean, I love them all. I mean, Samantha and Jimmy and the other Jimmy and Colbert. I mean, they're all really, but you're all kind of doing a different version of the same joke.
Yeah.
That was my whole point. That to me, I always like to humiliate and degrade both sides equally.
Yeah.
That's why we love you.
Well, that was the old
But it's just
school.
that there's one side that's doing such a good job of humiliating and degrading themselves.
Well, that's true. That was what we call a simpler time.
As soon as, I did stand-up up until Obama came in, and then I was losing interest because he was too good. And there was nothing to make fun of there.
Yeah,
With
right.
Bush, it was a bonanza.
Well, yeah, there you are.
Yeah, it was. So what do you think about that? I'm going to talk to you about Mitt Romney, who blew out. Did you see this video? Show them the video of Mitt Romney. He's blowing out his birthday candles.
It's a Twinkie birthday cake.
Yeah, Twinkie birthday cake. And because he's so good, because he doesn't want to spread his germs all over the birthday cake.
He blows them out
He
one by
blows
one.
one out at a time.
Yes. Look at that.
Here's what I love about Mitt Romney. When you open the dictionary and you look up white guy,
there he is.
it's so funny. He's like the white guy.
But he's doing like a public nervous.
I mean, I'm technically a white guy, but I'm Italian. When I see him, I go, no, that's a white guy. He got the tie, and he's white. And, you know, a more decent guy you couldn't find.
I know.
He truly is a decent man. You know, when his wife got muscular dystrophy, he took time off and took care of her. I mean, he's a really decent guy. But he's one of those guys that's like when white guys tell a joke, well, here is a funny anecdote. I was reminded. You know, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
I liked him last time when we were at Anna's wedding. He was there. But remember when he tied his dog to the roof of the car? What was that about?
I don't remember him tying the dog to the roof of the car.
Oh, yes, you remember
you
that.
do.
I remember
You did
somebody
jokes
said
on it. Stop it.
We probably did jokes about
Picking
it.
on me. You were talking about
I love
intermittent
it.
fasting and dieting with him just 10 days ago.
Too easy.
I know, but that was the one thing he did I did not like.
It's not Jay's fault.
I don't know. You can't yell at me for that.
it is your fault.
What is a public service? I mean, how many times haven't you gone to a kid's party and they're like,
Yeah,
exactly.
and then you don't want the cake.
No, but
this was very nice.
he just has that
Yeah.
Gee golly Willikers thing going.
Yes.
And that's what he is. You know, when he swears, he goes, gee golly. You know, there's not, see, you know, we grew up in a time, I never heard an English swear word.
No.
It was always, I was yelling in Italian. But Mitt Romney knows, by golly, I'm going to punch that fella right in
You
the
know
nose.
what? He's Mormon. I grew up Mormon, so I understand.
Yeah.
It's the whoopsie daisies. You find other ways around
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
exactly.
I totally get it. And that's a perfect explanation.
You know, what are the other ways you get around it? Because, I mean, if you don't drink, you don't curse, and you don't have affairs,
We have a lot
what are the
of-
other
we have a
ways?
lot
She has sex. She's got two in
There
the
you
oven.
go. Yes, once we're married, we have a lot of
Oh, my
donuts.
God.
We have a lot of hot chocolate. We still have our vices. Look,
dance?
I drink now. Like I've
This
gone
is
out
off
of it.
the
but-
rails. This is not how I want to impress Jay Leno on this show right now, okay? So we were talking about this college admissions scandal. Hot
I love
topic.
it.
Okay, tell me why.
I love it because it's got movie stars, it's got sports, it's got money, it's got rich people screwing poor people. It's the classic news story. The best news story before this was Robert Kraft with the Patriots.
Oh, yeah.
You had the Super Bowl, you had a rich guy going to, it was like different classes finally meeting. You know, hilarious.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. And that woman showing up in every selfie of every Republican politician in like the Western Hemisphere. But listen.
In fact, I'll tell you the joke I had during the break, but I can't do it here.
Oh, come on.
Oh, that's a tease. That was wrong of you.
I am
That
a
is
tease,
so
as
mi-
you know, Joy.
That is so Mitt Romney of you.
Thank you.
Listen, so next month is the White House Correspondent Dinner. For the first time in my memory, we have no comedian. Last
I know,
year,
I'm
Michelle
sad
Wolf.
about that.
What do you think about that?
You know, the first time I did it with Reagan,
Who had a sense of humor?
he had a very good sense of humor, but it was the first time I ever got nervous at a gig because I get there and I'm backstage, you know.
So what year is this?
This is the 80s.
Okay.
Mid-80s. And this general comes in, you know, he's got the hat on, he's got all the, he goes, hey, are you a comedian? I said, yes, sir. Let me tell you something. This is my president. Do you understand? This is my commander-in-chief. And he's poking me. He goes, you don't make fun of him. You don't denigrate him.
Oh, God.
And I go, he leaves. So I go, oh, man, what do I do? And then George Schultz comes in. Remember him? He's got a drink. Hey, Leno, come here. Nail Ronnie's ass to the wall. I go, that fake thing on his head, you think his hair's that color? Nail his ass to the wall. I said, well, that general said, he works for me. Screw him. I'm telling you. And I was like, what do I do?
What did you do?
Well, it was pretty funny.
Did you nail his ass to the wall?
And what did Reagan tell you afterwards?
Reagan was actually, you know, he was like the
Hold that
funniest.
story because we have to take a break.
All right, hold this.
I'm sorry. I'm on a tight.
I'll tell you that.
I want to hear the Ronald Reagan
I'm on a tight budget here. Okay, we'll have more with Jay Leno when we come back.